Participate in a conversation with once conservative, now liberal Midwest mastered prepared special education high school teacher and a self-proclaimed devil's advocate, East Coast conservative liberal, baccalaureate prepared registered nurse. These two strangers met, became instant friends, and realized their conversations are candid and epic. So join us weekly, ask us questions, and listen to these profoundly candid friends try to solve the world's problems, one discussion at a time.
Hey. Welcome to another exciting episode of The New Theory with Monet and Jared, aka TNT with MJ. I am Jared.
I'm Monet.
And together we are teaching minds
and nurturing souls.
This week we have another special guest, a friend of the show, a personal friend of mine for, good God, almost half my life, as I reflect on it. It's been good times. Definitely 15 plus years. Consider my sister. We're family. But she has some fantastic insight and wonderful perspective given her profession. She's currently working as a case manager for Section 8 housing, HUD, there in Roanoke, Virginia. She also worked for Section 8 at a previous location in Stillwater, Oklahoma. So looking forward to getting a little different perspective from.
Felt kind of bad because I was like, it is.
Different perspectives from Midwest to Eastern or East Coast. I'll just call it East Coast because Virginia's right there, right? So, Chris, glad to have you on. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, good to be here.
So, first question. I've already alluded to it. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Give us your backstory. What led you into this profession? And then if you could talk a little bit about the perhaps different work environments between Stillwater and then Roanoke.
Well, it's kind of an accident that I wound up here. Worked for attorneys for a number of years, and a position came available in Oklahoma, and it was just receptionist, administrative assistants, and took it, and it just kind of led me down the path, and family moved to the East Coast, and that's how I wound up in Virginia. My background education is criminal justice and sociology, and as well as paralegal.
Nice.
Yeah, and I do have my certification for the HCV specialist, which is the housing choice voucher. Which is I just got the actual certificate today.
Nice, congratulations.
Thank
Congratulations.
You. And then so I've only been the caseworker for about 6 months. And the difference between here and Stillwater really is the caseload. Stillwater only had about 650 families. Here in Roanoke, we've got well over 2,000.
Wow.
Wow.
That's just Section 8.
Wow.
Do you see any difference in biases as opposed to Stillwater? And is it like everybody essentially is a lower socioeconomic status?
Oh yeah.
But is there any preferential treatment with regards to race?
Oklahoma had, I think, more white people, more Native Americans, just being in the Midwest and then being Oklahoma, and then more Hispanic, Latinx, again being Midwest, and then north of Texas. Roanoke, I think we've definitely got more African American people.
Okay. How do you view the customer service as opposed to Oklahoma versus Virginia?
It's definitely different. And I think it's just the massive amount of people that we help. Because like I said, we've got well over 2,000 people for Section 8. And then plus there's the public housing people that we also have, which is 1,500, maybe another 2,000.
So it's different how? Better? Who's better? Who's worse?
She's like, I don't really want to burn that bridge. No.
Well, I think Stillwater was definitely better because I was in charge of it while I was there.
Oh. So there was more sympathy, there was more concern and respect.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yes.
Well, it's
You don't
it's
have the individualized, personalized.
yeah, it's hard to hear because it's very difficult to get to know that many people. Where in Stillwater you could easily get to know everybody that came into the building. And you can't really do that here. You can't get to know the people's voices over the phone. You can't get to know their faces because some of the people you're only going to see once or twice a year. Wow. And, here, the people that you only see once or twice a year, there's no way you can remember them. And even the people that you see. Okay, honey, you can plug it in. And even the people here that you see, multiple times a year, you still couldn't remember them.
Oh, because there's so many people. Yeah. And when you're living in a conglomerate, when you're living in a major city, which one do you prefer?
I actually prefer it here. Because do you want to watch? Honey, please turn it in. Please plug it in, okay? No.
I love 4-year-olds. Like literally, I had my 16-year-old, and FYI, he said, "Hi, Uncle Jared." Like came in, and I was like,
"What's up, Max?
Please go away. I'm on this phone. I'm trying to talk."
I was wondering why you were doing that.
Yeah, right. But I muted myself, and I was like, "So you won't be like?" I'm like, "Shut." Like.
I think I actually prefer it here because the need for help is so great. And go ahead.
No, I was going to ask, you see it changing lives?
I do.
Do you think they have more benefits out here as opposed to like so that people can make the bridge, the STEP program, like learn how to, first time home buyers programs, accessibility and.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. There are definitely more programs here. We do have home buyers programs. There's more money in the family self-sufficiency program, so there's more opportunity for that. We've got there's a veterans program. I think it's called VASH, and I'm sure I butchered that. There's opportunities for
single parents, abused parents. Battered wives.
Yeah, the VAWA program. You can move under VAWA, which is kind of a no questions asked type deal. Which there's a lot of benefits to that. There's also opportunity for it to be abused, unfortunately. And then there's if you're on the waiting list and you've got disabilities or you might be able to get ahead on the wait list based off of based off of those disabilities or age or the fact that you are a veteran or homeless or a homeless veteran. So there's more opportunities to be assisted. And, with bigger communities comes more money.
Yeah.
And, more funding and all of that does benefit the community.
All right. So I have a question. Sorry, Jared. I'm on my train. What made you want to get into law?
To help people, essentially. When I wanted to get into law, I wanted to change the criminal justice program. I wanted to change, specifically, get into prison reform. And
really?
Why?
How old were you when you recognized like prisons need to be reformed?
Teenager, 20.
What was the catalyst? What happened? What did you say? The only reason why I say this because in 1987 I lost my eldest brother to gun violence. He was in Graterford prison. He was 16 years older than me, and he was in prison from the time I was 6 to the time I was from 6 to 12. No. Sorry, from 8 to 12. He was in for 4 years for manslaughter, and it was like bullshit. It wasn't whatever, even if it was whatever, but that is a good portion that's a quarter of my life. Okay. And then he wound up getting killed when I was 12, after he got out. And after he was trying to change his life. So living in an environment, being affiliated with an environment where you see it happening to your loved ones. And yes, that was the first major death in my life. And the realization that you're losing your sibling and you're never going to see him again was profound and breathtaking. So I purposely worked at the prison my brother was at just to, that's one of the reasons, why I became a prison nurse, because I don't know, wanted to help those that were in there and be a kind guiding light to someone that could possibly to somebody else's brother while they're still alive, and hopefully change their minds and make a different, take a different path and be shown compassion. So, but what happened? Because it's obvious, Black woman, what made you want to do it? What was your affiliation?
The West Memphis 3 case, actually.
What?
The West Memphis 3 case. I followed it pretty much from the get-go.
I remember this. You still kind of are, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Seeing everything that the police did wrong and seeing how the accused were coerced into giving a false confession, and just everything. And I started paying attention to things in the news and things that I was seeing, and people spending years in jail for possession of small amounts of marijuana. And then I'd hear of people getting a slap on the wrist for possession of cocaine, and it's like, what makes this person go to jail for marijuana, but yet this person can not go to jail for cocaine? And it was a bunch of bullshit to me.
It was like a wormhole. Like once you heard about that, it was like, oh, and by the way, this is also happening. And by the way, this is also happening. And it's like, what? Okay.
Yeah.
How old were you?
And when I started school, it just kind of became a rabbit hole to me that it just, it wasn't my imagination. It was happening everywhere, and then it was the racial disparities, and then the socioeconomic disparities, and and then that pissed me off even more. And it was, well, how come Black people are in prison? It's so much, it's such a higher rate than white people, and then why are poor people, and then why are and then the whole thing just pisses me off.
Well, I'm telling you, when I went to prison and they took us on that tour after we went to our training, and the captain, the assistant warden said, "What do you see?" And me and this Hispanic girl was sitting next to each other. We were like, a whole bunch of black and brown. He was like, "Poor people." He literally like screamed at us. He was like, "Poor people." He's like, "That's what you see. You don't see this. You don't see that. You see poor people." He's like, "Because if we go to Utah, or if we go to, and he named like predominantly really white, states, and you go to their prison, you're going to see a bunch of white people that happen to be of lower socioeconomic status, period." And it's like, and it just so happens that in these major cities where they have a large minority base, there you're going to see the minorities. However, it's like, this is what happens.
They get stuck with the public defender who is stuck with 400 other cases, and all they want to do is plead it out so they can get it off their desk, and they don't care whether you're innocent or guilty.
No.
And they don't care what your crime is. Plead it down to a lower charge. It's like, well, you're only going to do 6 months versus 3 years. Take it. It's a good deal.
Exactly. What a passion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And after, sorry, my kid's apparently his nose is bleeding a little bit.
What?
Yeah.
What happened?
All right, so I guess it's my turn now. These ladies have been dominating the conversation a little bit, and that's okay.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. When sisters get together, whatever, it's all good. My question is is kind of shifting gears a little bit. I'd like to know, because I know that you were there the entire time Carson was Secretary of HUD.
Oh my God.
So my question is, were there any direct consequences or direct results of anything that he did, if he did anything at all? Did he do anything positive in I would almost say that arena, but his arena is HUD. That's, so.
That was supposed to be.
It was,
he was a fucking surgeon.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know
Spending,
how that worked,
$30,000 on office furniture, whatever.
I think that table looked pretty in his office.
Oh, fuck. 30, that's somebody's salary.
Uh-huh.
I hate gluttony.
Is more than what I used to make in a year.
Thank you.
I honestly, I can't really answer that, just because of my position. I think if there was anything that he did, if there was anything positive that he did, it was probably equaled out by something else that he did. So I mean, I honestly can't really answer that.
Okay, fair enough. Well, then maybe you can answer this one, because to my knowledge, she's not been confirmed yet. And I know that we briefly talked about it. Yes, we even do pre-conversations with our guests, listening audience. So in that, talked a little bit briefly of who President Biden has picked to replace Dr. Carson, Representative Marcia Fudge. I believe she's from Ohio, Democratic representative from Ohio, who is, to my knowledge and from what I've read, long advocated for fair rental pricing or affordable housing. I'm sure I'm leaving out a whole gamut of other subcategories. I don't really know quite the word. And so advocating for positive change and equitable change across the board. So with that being said, what do you look forward to most in the next 4 years?
Well, if she's talking about equitable change and fair housing and affordable housing, I hope that she does something with availability with housing.
Okay.
Right now, I know especially larger communities are having a problem with enough Section 8 housing.
So kind of supply equaling demand.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Wow.
Landlords discriminating against Section 8 voucher holders.
Afraid that they're going to destroy the property.
Yes, because as you know, Section 8 voucher holders, they're all, lazy. They don't
Drug addicts,
prostitutes. I mean, you know the stereotypes.
And mind you, they get inspected twice a year. Okay, when you have the Section 8 property, you get inspected twice a year. You have to stay up to code. It makes the landlord responsible, because if there's something that breaks, then the landlord has to make sure within a certain amount of days, very specific window they have. They don't have next month, 6 months. No, they get like weeks, days.
And it can depend too. We actually can inspect our properties once every 2 years.
Depending on how good the tenant is.
Depending on, our tenants can request a special inspection, which means our inspector can go out there, depending on the issue, they usually within 30 days. In the winter, if the heater is broken, if there's a whole bunch of shit going on, we can't.
The toilet's not working, water's not flowing in, there's creeks. And now you know why I know this, right?
I would imagine, given the information that you're giving me, I would assume that you've probably done some time in housing.
Yeah, 7 years.
And now each housing authority has their own set of rules.
But it's still federal.
Yeah,
it's federal.
HUD has this is what you have to do, and each housing authority can do this. They're, mays and musts. So your housing authority inspected twice a year. Ours can do every 2 years. Stillwater did once a year.
A minimal. I lived in 2 different entities that were funded differently by the federal government. The first entity, the first 5 years that I stayed in housing, I lived in what we call the projects, but the projects were privately owned. Okay. They were buildings owned by a private that he deemed worthy for lower socioeconomic people to live in order for him to get money, guaranteed money from the federal government. So he set up this placement system, okay, where you had to follow through everything, all the requirements that you needed to follow through, like his apartments in this lower in the number 2 poorest city in the nation were going for $666 or $520 something dollars. But he was able to warrant that amount of money because he would advertise to Baltimore, New York, and Philadelphia for them to come to this very impoverished section of the state and fill them up with people with their social security numbers and their access numbers, and they couldn't have a criminal background because that's what the federal government required for him to host these families. Mind you, for each unit, he's making bank millions of dollars by profiting off of lower socioeconomic people. Mind you, he would give us like $25 vouchers. Mind you, I lived there while I was in college. I took advantage of the system. I was like, if I don't have to worry about what I'm going to have to pay for where I live, might as well live in the projects. It don't bother me. Like I said, I can live in a hole in the wall. Y'all think I'm playing? I can live in a tent. Anyway, like all the formalities don't mean nothing to me. I don't care how much money I make, but that's neither here nor there. But then after that, after I graduated, I was afforded the opportunity to go into HUD, which is now federally funded. Like direct, it's like I'm talking to the feds and they're like, okay, find somebody and we'll give them a check. And then there's all these new people building all these houses because they're like, look, I get my money guaranteed. These houses are worth that they get top dollar, $1,300, $1,500 a month in areas where people are paying $600 and $700 a month in rent. Yeah. Learn the system.
Yeah.
So if people weren't greedy and they'd be like, look, pay me if I can get two people to live in two different houses, pay me $800 or $700 a month and then pay them but they're taking so much money that it can only afford for one family to live. See, that's what we need to talk about too. Fair market value. See, that's appealing for people to do it because they're like, look, I would in this economic environment, I could only charge, like nobody's gonna pay $1,500 to live in Southwest Philadelphia. But because I made the house with an extra half bathroom in this corner and I did, something, it boosts the value across the market. Like they look at the whole city of Philadelphia as opposed to that particular section. So then they get to charge the federal government $1,300, $1,600 a month. But if it's like, well, we know this lower socioeconomic environment is only paying like $600, $700 a month. Pay me $600, and here's a couple of houses over there that could also get $600, $700. So then you got three families that can find housing as opposed to one. That's greed.
Yeah. And that's where we get into the fair market housing, the fair market values, and the actual affordability. Because if you look at, you're a nurse, and so I'm sure you see people who are on disability and Social Security. You know how much these people make a month.
$800.
Yeah. And the cost of living increase this year was 1.3%.
1.3.
Yeah.
That shit is real pennies.
$10 a month
more. Knowing that our quality of life, our cost of living is going up, 13% or some shit? Look at gas. We'll never see gas close to lower. No, ever. What? $2.50. We're grateful.
Yeah.
Milk is $5. Not that I drink it like that, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah.
Aldi's is our best friend.
So back to the new HUD director. No, we're good. Now back to the new HUD director. If she can address some of these issues and make the affordability for actual affordable and do something with the discrimination and stop the loopholes for discrimination, for allowable discrimination, because no, I don't accept Section 8. Okay, so over the summer, Virginia passed a law saying any landlord who owns more than 4 pieces of property cannot refuse to rent to somebody with a Section 8 voucher. Great, that sounds great. So now landlords are asking, well, how much money do you make? Do you make more than 3 times the rent?
Wow.
If I'm a college student and I need this so that my kids and myself can have a place to live so that I can better my life so I'll never have to go back to Section 8 again, why won't you invest in something like that?
Yeah. And where this is affecting is, our one person households, one bedrooms, and they're not some of the landlords aren't accepting the portions. What are we paying versus what are they paying? So today, actually, and we don't know how the wording is going to go, today we actually enacted change that wording in this new bill is going to be changed, that we're going to be able to use payment standards as part of the income in this calculation.
That's
So
beautiful.
hopefully that can start to change.
I mean, how can we be one of the wealthiest nations, or so we think we are, in the country, and we haven't prepared our children for life on their own, and we have people that actually don't have a place to live? That to me is an abomination. Mm-hmm. That's my big girl word. I use it a lot. It is. Anyway. It is. Yeah, but no, I'm saying, like, it's horrible.
It is. It is. It is awful.
I mean, don't you think? I've never been to California and I really want to go, but I find it interesting, the stark difference between Hollywood and Skid Row.
Yeah.
If that's not yin and yang, I don't know what the hell is. If that's not the world saying, hey, there's something wrong here. You're making millions of dollars to do something that's entertaining, and these people don't have a place to lay down. Mm-hmm.
Well,
our priorities are skew.
I find it interesting that, and I follow a lot of news in Arkansas. Just because
goody.
Fayetteville is always home to me.
Mm-hmm.
One of the
I'm getting ready.
State reps in Arkansas is trying to pass a bill.
Is this the education reform?
Yes.
So he's trying to pass 2 bills, actually.
2?
Yes.
Yeah.
If I remember reading that correctly. One specifically targets the 1619 curriculum and calling out for a full ban of that. And the other one is very similar, talking about not allowing for any kind of class that teaches social justice based on race, gender, sexual identity, or any kind of other disparity among the
that's the one I'm
other
talking
groups.
About.
Yeah.
You can't talk about privilege of any kind. So the quote privilege walk, you can't you can't do that.
Yeah. And for those who don't know what the privilege walk is, it's just easier just for me to tell you. Google it. If you're listening to the show, you're a stranger to Googling things. So I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know what's sad is they don't realize how they're affecting children. You're going to send these adults that are oblivious to society, human nature, human design, our history, our foundation, our fuck ups, our corrections. You're just giving them a false sense of identity. They're going to go out and be like, what?
Yeah.
Oh no, it gets better than that. I don't know if you've read his I saw the quote this morning.
Mom,
or
not right
late last night. Where the guy who authored it, the one who's pushing for it,
Bellinger, I think is
something.
His name.
Yeah, something to the effect of the idea that white people are inherently born with privileges versus other groups of people is absolutely false, or something to that effect. Like, he just does not believe or does not acknowledge it. I mean, you don't have to. It's not. I don't want to say believe, because it's not fucking Santa Claus. it's there in your face, so there's no belief about it. You either acknowledge it or you don't. And so, yeah, this guy just is blatantly choosing to.
Well, that
it hurts my head.
Exactly how you know you were born with privilege.
Because you can do that.
It is. You can say that shit.
Exactly.
Yeah. It hurt my head just reading that. I was like, oh, I can't even begin to unpack this. It just hurts. Anyway, yeah. So
now you're gonna have vapid, lost, delusional people, these Santa Claus perpetuators that sit here and believe in bullshit and say no. What is wrong with saying that there's a such thing as white privilege? Because there's acknowledgement that there's unfairness in our laws and our judicial system. Then that means that makes you accountable for your fucking actions? How dare you? First of all, our taxes paid for that fucking building in Washington, D.C. Our taxes, my money I worked for, 30% of my fucking paycheck went to that shit. Not just your fucking money. My ancestors' resources, the money that's owed to them, went to that fucking building. My ancestors built those fucking buildings. You owe me money. You owe me something. And these fucking people destroyed it based on what? Because their fucking president lost? That's bullshit. They should be treated like everybody the fuck else. They need to be in jail for a long time. They need to be fined. That behavior needs to be discouraged. All you're doing, if you don't prosecute these fucking people, they're going to continue and it's just going to get worse. How the fuck you don't know? Educated people are telling you this is the trajectory. This is how science works. If you don't kill the cancer in the beginning, it's just going to fester and get worse. We're not dumb. You don't have to have a college degree to see that it's going to get worse. Discourage this shit. Get these fucking lawmakers out of there. Tell these rich people, you don't own this country. We work for you. We own this shit because we work for you. If we didn't work for you, you wouldn't have shit. Wake up, America.
And not work for you in the sense of, not work for you in the sense of they're our bosses. We work for you. We put you there.
Yes. We put you there.
We voted you in. We can vote you out.
We believe in that Constitution. We believe that we did not want to be a part of tyranny. And I will continue to try because I see the humanity in it. I see the humanity. We don't want to live in a dictatorship. We don't want to live under a monarchy. We want to live for the people, by the people. I believe that shit.
Yeah.
You're not going to take that away from me as an American because this is the only fucking country I know. I don't have lineage. I don't know where my ancestors come from. I know they're from African descent. What country, what tribe? I don't know. So this is my country. More than anybody fucking else's. But especially those that say I'm an American and I need fairness for all of us. And they fucking are they're teaching me that what you want us to believe, you just want to keep changing because you're wealthy and you're white. That's bullshit. I'll wipe anybody's ass. I don't give a fuck if you're a billionaire or you're a pauper. I care about humans, and this is what this country stands for. You know how many times I've been to Ellis Island, Williamsburg, Virginia? Because I believe that people came here for betterment. Maybe it's the Quaker mentality from living in Pennsylvania. But this is horrible. We can't live like this anymore. And this is blatant. Now we all fucking see the man behind the motherfucking curtain. We see it now. You guys it's not just racist, it's richness. If you're wealthy, you got it. Fuck you. You wouldn't have that shit. So, yeah, that's how I look at it. That's why I'm so passionate about what happened on January 6th. You stole from us. You tried to destroy what we believed in. Why did Black people go crazy and rogue and shit? Because it's like, you know what? It's going to get better. It's going to get better. It's got to get better. And y'all were allowed to do that and not get prosecuted effectively.
Much less. Oh, shit. Don't even. You know better than that, Monet. Meaning that had they been Black people, they wouldn't even have the opportunity to be prosecuted.
Hispanic.
Black or brown
Jews.
people. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Quakers.
Yeah, Camp Auschwitz, 6MWE. Come on, man.
What the fuck? And we're glorifying that? Now you have legislation in Arkansas saying, well, let's not talk about all that.
Yeah. Let's eradicate racism by not talking about racism. Let's eradicate division by not talking real shit.
And because
and
of that
teaching the kids how to actually process that. I mean, really.
That's a process, man. You're teaching them a process. You're hindering them. By keeping those things out of our system, you're manipulating people's minds for growth. You don't know what beauty is going to come out of that.
Oh no, that's that's blatant, outright gaslighting at its finest. You know, hey, let's not talk about it. It didn't exist. You know, kind of like, oh man, sorry, I was going off kind of. You ever? Never mind. No, won't go there.
No,
sidetrack.
Do it.
No,
do it, Jerry.
No. There's a running joke between me. Yeah, there's a running joke between me and my assistant teacher about we distinctly remember a movie starring Sinbad where he played a genie.
Yeah.
It never fucking existed.
Oh. That's right, because nobody talks about it.
You can't even find the shit on IMDb.
Damn.
We're both like,
damn.
And there's
that's starring
Shaq. That's Shaquille O'Neal. Yeah, no, we know.
Yeah, that's.
But there's a few YouTubers. There's at least one YouTuber that he showed me anyway that went on a huge 10-minute tirade. Yeah, that's it. Exactly, the Mandela. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you don't talk about it doesn't exist.
Oh man.
And then you have white people be like, why are these Black people angry? What's wrong with them? They born like that. There's something wrong with them. And then when we start, and the sad thing is, the powers that be know this, and they're like, oh God, if it was me, I'd lose my fucking mind. Yeah. Why haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
And then when the white people do it, they lose their fucking mind and they raid the fucking Capitol.
But they don't look at it that way. It's entitlement,
who was
privilege.
It that told me? There's actually a video of one of the rioters, fucking insurrectionists, that he was actually quoted saying, they're not going to arrest us guys, we're white. They're not going to do anything, we're white. That shit's on tape, man. That shit's on video.
The reality is, it's like, what's the comeback?
Hang my pants.
Yeah, right? Like, really?
They're not going to do anything with white. Hang my pants.
So what's the comeback for it? Good people. What's good people? People that show compassion and kindness and respect for others. It's very easy to find. Very easy to find. People that are not agitators. People that don't desire and want negativity for others. That's the delineation. Fuck race. Because you and I all know, we know Black people we can't stand. We know white people we can't stand. Period. and then everybody else in between. What we gravitate towards is good people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the difference. So for the powers that be, stop looking at it and try to make it seem race. It's not race. It's good people and bad people. And what are bad people? Bad people are intolerable. They're insensitive. They want you to live they want to gaslight the hell out of you, and they want you to live in a bubble of ignorance. Those are bad people.
And this is where I would piggyback on that, say those good people need to be putting legislation in place to override the blatant racist legislation that's the rules and everything that's already on the books. You need to replace that shit.
Yeah.
Then we can really have some good conversation. We can have some real conversation.
Change.
A real change. Exactly.
I don't know if there's a such thing as perfection, because there's that
I'm
whole
not looking for
debate.
perfection. I'm not looking for a utopia either. I'm looking for,
because you need the good with the bad.
Well, I mean, you can't have the good without the bad.
Exactly. That's true.
Let's go there.
That's true. That's true. But this is to a point of exhaustion.
Yeah.
This is like you can put your head down and close your eyes and try not to pay attention to it, but this is like, all right, come on, I'm done. Yeah. Like y'all just taking it once, you're getting ignorant and more ignorant and more ignorant. It's like, come on.
Yeah. Speaking of more ignorant, we got a few more minutes, but I wanted to get into this, get Chris's opinion on McConnell's flip-flop. Where he was
so against the president. And
he was supportive of an impeachment. But now not supportive of conviction.
Oh my gosh.
Pathetic.
McConnell just needs to hide in his little turtle shell.
That's funny. Because I never thought, he does look like a little turtle.
Does look like a turtle.
I never saw that before.
We're being shady as hell, but it's true.
It's our show. What are they going to do?
I know, right?
We got protected speech against the government. What are they going to
do? His wife, I never realized it until my mom told me about 6 months ago. His wife was the head of the transportation.
The Asian lady.
Yeah, that was his wife. And so there was something going on there.
Head of transportation.
Yeah, the Department of Transportation.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, who doesn't in that Buttigieg's position now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, wasn't there something significant that happened with transportation? I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure, and I'm sure it was detrimental to
everybody's.
I don't know.
Everybody's coffers is full.
Yeah. I think McConnell needs to shut up and let the adults run the government now. He has threatened to see now that I've had a big glass of bourbon, I can't talk.
Damn it. Hate when that happens to me.
I know, right?
It's all good. It's all good. That's I think we got you. We feel you.
We need to continue this conversation.
Yeah, we do.
We'll pick this up.
You have
again.
to come back.
He's threatened to continue to stall. He's threatened every move possible. I think he needs to shut up and sit down and let the grown-ups run the government.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm tired of this argument of.
And don't backtrack. You're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
It's like he has a retractable penis that went right back up inside his body. No dick.
He needs to just hide in his little shell, all of them, penis and all.
His penis and all, head and penis.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gone. He was talking big boy shit when fucking idiots was trying to attack them. Now all of a sudden, my base. Let me explain something. They need to let's segregate them. Why don't y'all feed each other? Because you're going to implode and fuck each other up.
Exactly.
Y'all need us because we're all kind and we're forgiving and this, that, and the other. And they just like, I want to be, what is it? They want to leech off of us.
There you go.
Because they want a semblance of humanity near them. Because they know if they all lived in their own powder keg, they would kill each other. They wouldn't survive. There would be no oxygen because somebody wants it more than everybody else.
Yeah.
And that's how it would happen.
Right.
And we're all like, here, you want some? We're sharing. I ate. I'm good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Trump has been impeached. The next step is the hearing.
Yeah.
That's it.
He needs to go to fucking jail.
Yeah.
He needs to be prosecuted along with his dumbass minions. I want all their fucking guns taken away and give them to me. It's like, remember, I am a Republican. I ain't killing nothing, but I will eat a fish, and I'll eat some deer if somebody else kill it.
Yeah.
I know a person.
Yeah, I do too. I got a family member actually. So yeah.
That's nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? But we also trying to stop eating a lot of meat too. I get it.
I
well, you're eating enough land.
I gun, but I have a backyard that apparently a lot of deer live in. So
I don't want to kill the ones I see eating and being happy. I want somebody else with a heartless soul that does it.
All right. Well, on that note,
I need that. Now I need them. You feel me? I need them.
All right. Third time's the charm, I guess.
All right, what's next?
Like,
all right, guys. Well, what's next is we're wrapping it up.
Yeah.
I think that's going to on that. Shut up.
Oh wait, that is not sexual. Cut it the fuck out.
I know it wasn't. No. I know it wasn't. Like, not no. No.
Daddy.
Damn it, Monet.
Did that sound sexual, Daddy?
God, you gotta stop. All right.
Don't you edit this shit out either, Jerry. Because I know you'd be like, yo.
We'll see. We'll see. All right. On that note, guys, that's going to wrap it up for us. Chris, thank you so much for joining us. We loved having you. We love getting your perspective, learning more about HUD and learning more about Section 8 and what it is you do and what it is that's
what you're driving force.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
your driving
passion.
force, your driving passion. Thank you. That's what I was going for.
I love you.
Thank you for that.
Every 6 weeks she has to come back.
Okay.
I'd love to, because next time I want to talk about Jared.
Oh yeah.
I knew that was coming.
I think I've got like 20 years worth of.
Monet, you and I have had this conversation. You know.
I know your history.
Yeah.
Cause see, but no, that's Chris.
But yeah. All right. Next time, segue.
His fucking history is like, I'm like, yeah. It's like an onion. You like, God damn. Oh shit. This white boy got a lot of shit with him. It's like white man. Let's keep it real. He's a man.
It's all good.
Yeah, he's a good one.
He's a winner. That's why he's my brother. Real shit was telling the story in Legoland. Sat next to my brother was like
3 years ago.
Weird ass motherfucking white man. Hey, what's up?
All right, guys. Oh, we hope that you enjoyed the conversation. That's right. I'm finished. I'm still going. That's how I work. Y'all can try to sidetrack me. I'm gonna keep this on track here. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. Thank you for joining us, guys. We got, if you've not noticed already, there's been some social media posts made here recently. If you're listening to this, obviously Saturday, we record on Thursday, so it's been within the last 48 hours. Talking about growing our podcast, growing our product, and really striving to make this a full-time venture to where we can really invest the time that we feel we need to put into this to really put out a real solid product for you guys. So with that being said, we're moving from one platform to another and looking for paid memberships to grow our fan base. So there's been social media posts, keep up with that. You can find, with all that said, I'm going to go through my regular spiel. You can find us pretty much anywhere you find your podcasts, except for iTunes, because, it's Apple. And it's just not compatible with my computer for whatever reason. Anyway.
You don't like Apple.
Yeah, right.
Well, he won't
So
do
with-
Stitcher either.
Yeah, no. So with that being said, guys, we look forward to thank you again. We look forward to having you having you join the conversation again next week. All that being said, Monet, final word.
Well, I would like Chris to take it because she's our guest and she's a good dear friend of yours and now me.
Okay. So Chris, final word.
I was not prepared for this.
We love people. We want the best for all. We
Mm.
want to have better intimate relationships with strangers. Is that right? No.
I get where you're going with it, but
Not in that sense.
right. No, I get what you're saying. All right, Chris, final word.
Well, to do better, you've got to be better.
Amen.
Preach, sis.
There you go.
And that's beautiful.
Absolutely. To be better. To do that again. One more time.
To do
I don't
better.
know if I can. To
do
do
better,
better, you've got to be better.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can edit
Right.
some of my crazy
Yeah.
shit out, Jared.
Yeah.
Not the good
just
crazy ones.
Spread the love.
Spread the
There you
love.
go. There it is.
Spread the
Till
love.
next week.
Till next week, everyone. Bye.